There's something about turning 25. It's quiet, but it changes everything. Not in a loud party hat champagne kind of way, but more like an internal switch flips. You wake up properly. And before 25, it was all noise and motion, trying things, chasing things, escaping things. But you didn't see clearly. You were still in what I would like to say the baby stage of life. Even when you thought you were grown, 25 is the infant stage of consciousness, I like to say. The first time you look around and think, wait, what even is all of this? Like, who am I really? And how did I get here? Like a 5 or 7 year old would, but just with a higher inner standing of consciousness. It's like the first real awakening. They say that the prefrontal cortex is fully developed by 25, and that's the part of the brain that holds reason, perspective, truth. And you feel it, that mental clarity starts creeping in. Suddenly, things you brushed off at 21 now keep you up at night. You look back not to romanticize, but to analyze, to make sense of the story so far. You see the patterns, the survival mechanisms, the way you try to love people who couldn't love themselves, the dreams you picked up from other people and not yourself. And you realize you've just now started living with your eyes open. And it's humbling because life doesn't feel linear anymore. It's like it's just beginning. 25 isn't a quarter life crisis, it's like a rebirth. You don't have all the answers, but now at least you're asking the right questions. And that's where real life begins. But let's go deeper because this shift isn't just mental, it's spiritual. In numerology, 2 plus 5 equals 7, which is my favorite number. And 7 is the number of the seeker, the truth finder, the soul that doesn't want surface, it wants meaning. And at 25, you're not just aging, you're activating. You stop playing the role and start becoming the soul. You've probably been surviving since young, but surviving and awakening are two different things. 25 is when your spirit starts whispering louder than your environment. You stop moving on autopilot, you start questioning everything. And that's not paranoia, that's power. Some say we choose our soul contracts before we even get here. Like we come into this life with lessons to learn, patterns to heal, stories to rewrite. And 25, that's the age where you start to remember why you came. It's like your soul says, enough pretending, it's time to wake up. You realize the career you're in might not be for you. That university degree that you did probably doesn't even fit the way you think anymore. The people you've held on to are not your soul tribe. The ideas you've inherited around love, success, even happiness might have been someone else's dream. You start hearing the call from your ancestors, from your future self, from that version of you that is free. And it's not always pretty. 25 can feel lonely, isolating, confusing because suddenly you're seeing the world, really seeing it, and some of it doesn't make sense anymore. The systems, expectations, the pressure to perform. You're in the in between, not who you were, not quite who you're becoming, but awake now. You might feel things you can't explain, intuitive nudges, synchronicities, the deep unsettling sense that something bigger is at play. You might even start to notice the patterns in your bloodline, the generational loops, the trauma, the silence. So yeah, that's the real work of 25. Healing in real time, unlearning, rebuilding, becoming, because this isn't just an age, this is an initiation. Your first conscious birthday, the real you is just now being born. So if you feel confused right now, if you feel alone or lost or like you're floating in the deep end, you're not broken, you're becoming, you're remembering, and you're not too late. You're right on time.